Hello, this is Greenhat-Redbeard Adventures. This video is going to be about frameless slingshot shooting and how I'm going to show you the method that I usually use, as well as which whether you use tube bands or flat bands. I generally tend to use both. A lot of people always prefer one versus the other. Personally, as I said, I use both. I'll agree that in my case, the flat band slingshots for frameless are a lot more powerful by comparison to the tube bands. Maybe it's just the tube bands that I have or the flat bands that I have, but in the time that I've been doing it, I like having options. As I'm sure I've said in many videos, I like to have some options. So I got both of them here with me, and I'm going to show you both. I'm going to show you the shooting technique I use with my hands. So let's get into it. So first and foremost, I'm going to show you the tube bands, which is right here. This is the ones that came with my Torque slingshot from Simple Shot. As you notice, there's a little knot right there. So if you've never done the frameless slingshot shooting before, I recommend that if you're going to be shooting these style slingshots, whether it be the tube bands or flat band styles, be careful. Obviously, don't just go off of one video. It's more for the intermediate crowd or even expert shooting, more, at least in my opinion. Other people, I'm sure, will have conflicting opinions on the subject, but for me, I advise you to be at least an intermediate to expert level of slingshot shooting. There's obviously some slingshots out there who are a lot more trickier by comparison to most other frame slingshots, but this is going to be the frameless. You're using your fingers. So if you're in a position of where you get a lot of frame hits or you hit your hand with a regular slingshot, I don't recommend you trying this for yourselves. So there's two main methods of shooting. I'm going to show you only one of them. I'm going to talk about the second one, but the reason why I'm only showing you one is because I just can't do the second one. I just can't pull it off. I can't do it. So for the tube bands and the flat bands, the general method, how I do it in my setup in my fingers, I'm right-handed, so the pouch is going to be in my right hand, and the slingshot tubes are going to be in my left. So how I do this, and this applies for the flat bands, which I'm going to show you. I take the end here, I slip it over this finger right here, at which point my middle finger goes over top, basically just securing it in place, and at which point I'll just pinch that like that, at which point I'll then put the ammo into the pouch and hold it. Right now there's nothing in here. I'll just hold it like this. I'll stretch it out a little bit, at which point then what you want to do is with your two fingers here, is you want to slip both your first finger and your thumb inside of here, and then just basically bring this around like that. Oops. And I basically let the tubes rest over top of my fingernail and my thumbnail, and I just pull them apart just like that, and you're ready to go. So this is the method that I use. Now the other method is where you basically, it's like this, the finger is the same, but the thumb is basically where you just let it go over top of the tip of the thumb and bring it back. Every time I pull it back, it just slips off my thumb one way or the other, and I just can't seem to do it. Like that method, just supposed to be going like right over the tip of your thumb, just like that. But every time I spread my fingers and I'm about to shoot, it goes one way, it goes the other way. I screw up. And I've tried so many times, and I just can't seem to get it to work. So doing it this way over the thumbnail and over the thumbnail and the fingernail, I've been able to shoot like this every single time. I've never hit my hand. Whether you choose to go with one method or the other is entirely up to you. If you're trying it out for starters, try out both if you'd like. As I said, a lot of people are afraid to hit their hands. Somebody racing around, I guess, probably on their snowmobile. As I was saying, is that if you're trying it out for the first time, I recommend is that basically you just do a little dry fire. Do that a couple of times, practice your form, make sure you can get it on your fingers and maintain that position on your fingers. That way when you're pulling it back and about to let go, it just doesn't slip off. Just practice that a little bit. Also, instead of using steel ammo, use plastic training ammo. And basically, this is what it looks like right here. These ones are actually spray painted red, and these are sold at found these at Walmart. There's also like rubber balls that a friend of mine gave me in a Ziploc bag some time ago, and I used those as well. So try using these first before just using the steel ammo. If you're, these are still going to hurt, but you're less likely to break bones or cut your hand or rip your skin and get some blood. You're far less likely with these than those. So up to you what you want to do. So I'm going to take a shot here right now. So got my plastic ammo in there. You see, there it is. Always make sure you get your fingers set up in a nice position before you just start stretching back all the way. So here we go. There we go. I usually draw back to roughly around my cheek, somewhere in the roughly around my cheek or ear areas. It's entirely up to you, how far you want to draw back. That's my normal draw length. So let's go again. So now, the reason why I like these two bands a lot over my flat bands is convenience. I just wrap it around my wrist when I'm not using it. It's nice and loose on my wrist. Doesn't cut off the circulation. My hand is doing just fine. And I've been carrying this around with me for about a month now, so it's been doing quite well for me. Now, for flat bands, it's entirely up to you. Some people use the ring method. Some people might use a little piece of wood or something like that so you can grip onto it. I usually just leave it looped. This is the way that I like doing it. Same thing as before. This finger here. Want to go on the inside of your hand. Bring your middle finger over top of that. And again, as before, it's just you want to slip. Basically, it's just like that. It's just one loop, and you're slipping your first finger inside, your thumb inside, and again. Just like that. That's all it is. So basically, it's like a shoot through the forks type of method with your hands is what it is. This one here, I can bring it back to my cheek before I max out. The tubes, I can bring it back a little further. For those of you who are wondering, this is I made this one myself. This is made out of TheraBand silver, non-latex material. So I'm going to load it up now. I've been hearing that apparently the over the tip of the thumb method for flat bands is a lot more easier, but and I've been able to get it to work and stay on my thumb. I just find it uncomfortable. I've got this method of doing over my thumbnails now, and I'm just sticking with it. There's a lot of videos out there who still shoot with this method here and do just fine. So there's my plastic training ammo in there. Load up another shot. After a while, when you start using the plastic training ammo and you start shooting at a particular level of where you're not hitting your hands and you're pulling off some decent shots, eventually, when you feel comfortable, if you feel comfortable, then you can switch over to steel ammo. You'll notice that obviously there's more weight to the steel ammo than the plastic, so obviously the steel ammo will shoot a lot more further, a lot more straighter by comparison to the plastic. The little gust of wind, this plastic's gone, flying off into the wind. So I find the two bands to be a lot more better for me because of convenience. These, I'll just roll this up and stick it in my pocket. That's the real difference there. So this is Greenhat-Redbeard Adventures. Stay safe, have fun, wear safety glasses too.